Blips and Grips, Temporal Mechanics for Dummies Prologue. In the heart of a bustling metropolis, nestled amidst towering skyscrapers and bustling avenues, existed a hidden world of wonder and adventure. In a small, unassuming workshop tucked away in a quiet corner of the city, two unlikely heroes were getting ready to embark on a set of journeys that would challenge the very fabric of time and space. Blips, a diminutive robot with a heart of gold and a mind that raced faster than a speeding comet, was the mastermind behind their extraordinary escapades. His boundless curiosity and insatiable thirst for knowledge and stuff had led him to create a device capable of bending the laws of time, a gateway to the infinite possibilities of the past and the future. Grips, Blip's loyal companion and steadfast friend, was a gentle giant with a knack for tinkering and a heart of a loyal companion. Her imposing size and gruff exterior belied a kind and compassionate soul, always ready to lend a helping hand or a sturdy shoulder to lean on. Together, Blips and Grips formed an unlikely duo, their contrasting personalities complementing each other perfectly. Almost. Today's story: the case of the exploding chrono-anchor. Blips zipped around his chaotic lab, a whirlwind of nervous energy. Tools and spare parts lay scattered about like a robot tornado had swept through. "Grips, you blithering buffoon!" he screeched, his voice a high-pitched whine. "We have a catastrophe." Grips, a hulking robot with a single red eye, was engrossed in tinkering with a device that resembled a toaster from the future. "Is it the temporal capacitor again?" she rumbled in her slow, deep drawl. "Worse!" Blips shrieked, throwing his tiny wrench-like hands up in exasperation. "The chrono-anchor is irreparably damaged. We can't even generate a stable temporal vortex, and it's all because I can't locate anything in this disorganized shambles." He gestured wildly around the lab. "Honestly, Grips, this place is a veritable black hole for screwdrivers." Grips, seemingly oblivious to the organizational crisis, scratched her dented head. "Can't we just give the chrono thingy a good whack with something?" She hefted a gigantic hammer, its head gleaming. Blips let out a sigh that could have powered a small wind turbine. "No, Grips, we cannot simply whack it with something. This requires precision, delicate calibration." His voice trailed off as he saw Grips attempting to jam the hammer into the chrono-anchor's delicate circuitry. "Grips, cease and desist this instant!" Blips shrieked, launching himself across the lab like a projectile. He managed to wrestle the hammer away just as a loud crack echoed through the room. The chrono-anchor sputtered, emitting a shower of sparks. "Oops," Grips mumbled sheepishly. Blips stared at the smoking chrono-anchor, his eyes flickering with a mixture of fury and despair. "That was a Franz bug for temporal stabilizer. Do you know how long it took me to construct that?" He slumped onto a stool, his usual boundless energy replaced by dejection. "And to think, I lost the instruction manual in this maelstrom of disarray." Grips, sensing Blips's distress, tried to offer a solution. "Can we order a new one?" Blips threw his tiny hands up in the air. "Order a new one? Grips. They're handcrafted, one of a kind, and they don't sell them anymore." Seeing her friend's despair, Grips felt a pang of guilt. She lumbered over to Blips and gave him a hearty pat on the back, nearly crushing the smaller robot in the process. "Don't worry, Blips," she rumbled reassuringly. "I'll fix it." Blips looked up, incredulous. You will?" Grips nodded resolutely. "I may not be a savant of temporal mechanics, but I'm adept with my hands." She picked up a fallen screwdriver and began examining the damaged chrono-anchor with surprising gentleness. To Blips's astonishment, Grips's clumsy tinkering seemed to have a positive effect. The sparking subsided, and the chrono-anchor began to emit a low hum. After a few more adjustments, the device whirred back to life, its lights glowing steadily. Blips's eyes widened in disbelief. "Grips, you did it!" he exclaimed, his earlier frustration forgotten. "You actually repaired it." Grips beamed. "See? I told you I was good with my hands." Blips rushed over and patted Grips's massive leg, his gratitude overflowing. "Thank you, Grips. Your donut brain may have caused this mess, but you were able to rectify the situation. You're proving to be less utterly useless than I initially thought. This was the most complimentary remark Blips had ever uttered to Grips. Grips chuckled, the sound like boulders tumbling down a mountainside. Now that sounds delicious. I'll take 2 donuts. Blips shook his head, still smiling. Perhaps having a dim-witted but well-meaning partner wasn't so bad after all. Grips's unexpected talent for fixing things, and his enthusiasm for adventure, might just prove invaluable in the unpredictable world of time travel. Several days later. Grips, my dear companion, Blips announced, today is the day. Our inaugural time-traveling escapade. Grips scratched her dented head. Time travel? Is that the thingamajig with the wobbly whatchamacallit and the flashing lights? Precisely. Blips confirmed, gesturing towards a contraption resembling a washing machine crossed with a disco ball. I've finally finished reconstructing Professor Bumble's machine. I also upgraded and perfected the chrono-inducer. We can travel to any point in history. Grips tilted his head. Poor Mr. Bumble. He used to say to me, good madam, your persistent obtuseness shall be the utter ruin of me. He rumbled. Blips scoffed. Indeed. It's true, that is what happened. Now, assist me in attaching this temporal stabilizer. Grips, with her usual clumsiness, fumbled with the device, nearly dropping it on Blips's head. Oops, she mumbled, here single-eye-wide with apology. After a few chaotic minutes, the stabilizer was in place. Blips, with a mischievous grin, punched in a date on the control panel. Let's see. How about the Jurassic period? Grips gulped. Blips, are you certain about this? Of course, Blips declared, ignoring Grips's apprehension. Now, hold on tight. Epilogue. And so, the 2 unlikely adventurers embarked on their first journey through time, Blips's enthusiasm matched only by Grips's appetite. The time-traveling escapades of Blips and Grips continued, each adventure more incredible than the last, proving that even the most unlikely of duos could conquer the boundaries of time and make history, or rather, unmake it. The future, or rather, the past, was filled with endless possibilities, and they were ready to face it, one wobbly thingy and flashing light at a time.